Entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network. What's going on, family? I'm Big Q chiming in on the Pelican postgame report. The final game of a very disappointing season, to say the least, as the Pelicans fall by 6. Starters didn't play, of course. They go down 133 to 127 to the Orlando Magic in this one. A lot of reserves planned and 3-game losing streak to end the season. We'll talk about it. We have several interviews turned up for Frank Jackson chimes in, Elvin Gentry as well. Get their thoughts in. Man, this has just been a horrible NBA restart, to say the least. Very disappointing. Anyway, let me bring my co-host in on the Pelican postgame report. DC is chiming in. What's going on, DC? How you doing, fam?
We finished this 3-game win streak, bro. I don't know why you telling people we losing. We winning. We winning losing games right now.
It's kind of back logic, isn't DC? We gaining position in the lottery, and of course, at the same time,
we winning the arm season. Shit.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you are winning if you're looking like that. The fact that you do increase your chances in the lottery, but at the same time, this is kind of a weak draft. And, of course, it does help you in your case to get rid of Elvin Gentry, although many people think that Elvin Gentry isn't going anywhere. So I don't exactly know.
Who these people? Did they have their watch?
Okay, I can't.
Did they actually watch the Pelican season?
Well, I mean, a lot of people think. I don't know why people thinking Elvin Gentry stand. Besides some of the information we're going to talk about toward the tail end of the podcast today, dealing with it. But without further ado, let's get into this game, man. 133 to 127. Absolutely a joke of a game, and I mean they were competitive in spots, but it's what it is. Let's go to the team stats. The Pelicans in this one, 48 of 87, shooting 55% from downtown.
55% is good.
Then, of course, the Magic shot 48 of 84 for 57%. 10 of 34. How about that, DC? 10 of 34 from downtown.
That's not good.
But the Orlando Magic, 15 of 28 for 53.6.
Hold up. I hate to cut you off, Big Q, but I got to say this, man. I think we have to be the best team in NBA history at making other teams improve their three-point shooting.
Oh, my God.
We got to be. Everybody who plays against us shoot like 50%.
It's horrible, man.
I'm sorry, man. I ain't cut you off.
It's horrible. It's absolutely a joke, to be honest with you. DC, we got a little problem with your mic. Sounds a little garbled there, so we'll see if we can kind of improve that. Outside of that, let's keep the statistics going on here. As like I said, 15 to 28 for 53.6, 53.5% from downtown. 10 of 34 for the Pelicans for 29%, and the Magic were 15 of 28 for 53%. Tough to beat. They were 21 of 27 from the free throw line, about 78% for the Pelicans, 22 of 30 for 73% for the Magic. Pelicans rebounded the Magic 40 to 33. In this, the Pelicans were out assisted by the Magic 25 to 22. Both of them were even with the steals at 6, blocks for 2 Vantage Pels. Turnovers, Pelicans had 13 turnovers, in which they got 23 points off those 13 turnovers. The Magic had 12 and got 20 off of those. Fast break points even at 21. Points in the paint, a positive. The Pelicans had 72 of them in the paint. 50 points for the Orlando Magic in this one. And believe it or not, the Magic led by as much as 22 points in this game, as the Pelicans did try to make it, to try to come back close in this game. They fell short by 6, and another disappointing effort. So DC, before we get Elvin Gentry in there, quick thoughts on what you thought about the game.
3-point shooting. That's what this was. That's why I stopped you. It was like I had to pause there because watching this game and looking at everything else, that's not the way the Pelicans lost this game, man. That and a combination of doing what they always do. I don't know why they come out in the first quarter this whole time in the bubble and just get off to horrible starts. And it's just downhill from there. They spend the rest of the game trying to climb back into the game. They cut it down to a couple of points here, and then they might sneak in and take the lead, and then the team just take off again. Hit some more wide open threes. So, I mean, that's basically all it was. We had our backups in, trying to get some guys some minutes. Frank Jackson, they got Alexander Walker looked good. Josh Hart looked good. And we got a glimpse at, I guess, a few players who could still be on this team when we reshuffle this roster next year, because you know it's coming.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on in the show. It's definitely coming to some of the stuff that's been going on and some of the worst kept secrets of what's going on inside the Pelican camp. But anyway, before we even get to that, let's finish up on this. Here's Elvin Gentry's thoughts on the Pelicans Magic matchup.
Chance to win, cut it to 5 at the end. It was a lot of fun to watch those kids compete.
Well, I think the main thing is that we talked about the fact that everything's got to be a learning situation. I thought they competed at a real high level. Once again, I think our defense let us down. We got to get back defensively to where we were before the hiatus started, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, we were in the top 11 in the league then defensively, and we just got to get back to that situation right there, and we will. You know, we got a bunch of great veteran guys, and we got some young guys that want to learn, so we'll find a way to get back there.
Yeah, that's something you did in the second half that allowed you to get back into it. You cut the turnovers offensively, and then defensively, the Magic were having trouble getting into it, and that's what you were talking about. That's how you got back in it.
Well, yeah, and we talked about the fact that we can't exchange baskets. You know, we've got to be able to come up with stops if we're going to get back in the game. I thought we did a good job of just being active with our hands. I thought we did a much better job of getting over screens. We got to do a little bit better job of closing out the three-point shooters when they're shooting the ball well.
Go ahead.
What's up, Coach? This is Will Guillory with The Athletic. Nikhil ended up sneaking in that last bucket at the end to give him a career high. Just what do you think you saw from him in these last few games to kind of, take his game up one more level just with the added opportunities?
Well, I think for young players to get better, they have to play. It was good to be able to play them, these minutes, and they were good minutes. They weren't like trash minutes or anything. They were minutes that meant a lot. And so it's good to see those guys get out and compete at that level. And as I said, we just got to continue to work in the summer individually on our game, and then we got to work collectively when we get back as a team.
Hey, Coach, Christian Clark with Ball.com here. Now that your time in the bubble is over, just what was your experience as a whole, with this plan the NBA put together?
I think if you were giving the NBA a grade, it would almost have to be an A+ with everything that happens from the accommodation they made from a living standpoint, to the food, to the way this thing was organized, from the practices all the way up to the games. I thought they did a great job. I really did. I think the players enjoyed it. They made it so that there was activities going on, so it wouldn't be quite so boring. I thought our players enjoyed it. I know that I enjoyed it, and as I said, I think they did a great job putting this thing together in such a short amount of time.
Coach Elvin Gentry talking about, of course, going into the summer and moves and such like that, but they was
No, Big Q. Elvin Gentry said, "We gonna get it together. We gonna get it right." The season over. What is he talking about? Elvin Gentry is completely out of touch with reality, Big Q. Somebody please tell this man, there ain't no second part of the bubble. Like, what are you talking about? How we gonna get it right, Coach? Like, what are you talking about, man?
Oh man, that's absolutely funny, man. But it's so true, man. So true and sad. Let's look at some of the box stats here dealing with this contest. As the Pelicans' top scorer, 31 points for Frank Jackson, 36 minutes, 12 of 24 from the field, 3 of 9 from downtown, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. He finished with 31 and 5 assists there for Frank Jackson. He didn't even turn the ball over, so kudos to Frank Jackson showing off. Those were quality minutes, like Gentry said. NAW showed up as well. He had 29 points in the matchup. Did turn the ball over on the Drew Holiday type tip. Had 6 turnovers. But he scored 21, had 7 assists, which I'm very proud of, that he's learning to dish the ball a lot more in 36 minutes. 11 of 18 from the field, 2 of 6 from downtown.
29, Big Q.
What did I say?
29. He said 21, my brother.
Oh, Scar. 29 points in the matchup, 7 assists, 11 of 18 from the field, 2 of 6 from downtown, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. And then beyond that, the only other really big scorer in the matchup was Josh Hart, 23.6 assists, 14 rebounds. This guy is awesome, man. In 36 minutes, he was 7 of 4 from the field, 3 of 9 from downtown, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. So a triple, not quite a triple-double for Josh Hart, but he was well on his way. The rest of the team, not so much, as you did see a few players that we don't usually see. Now, Jaleel Okafor did play 17 minutes. He was 4 of 7 from the field. Only had 8 points in this matchup with 4 rebounds. 9 points for Zendarius Darwell in 19 minutes of action. 8 points for Cheatham in the game in 20 minutes. He was 4 of 4 from the field. Put up 8 points and 3 rebounds. First time seeing him get a little action. Jackson Hayes, 13 points in the day. Only 4 rebounds in 31 minutes of action. A lot of time for Jackson Hayes. 5 of 7 from the field. 3 of 4 from downtown. From the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds in the matchup as well. And Nico Melli, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from downtown. He continues to struggle. 6 points, 5 rebounds in 25 minutes for Nico Melli, who was absolutely terrible these last 2 games. This is quite entertaining. I don't know quite what to say about this matchup except nobody had faith that the Pelicans can pull off another win. Of course, we knew they were going to utilize a lot of their backup players. Favors, Ball, Reddit, Etwine Moore, none of those guys were activated in this. They pretty much sat and watched the game. But looking at what Orlando did, they top guys, 23 points for Niko Vujacic. He had 23 points in the game, 10 of 11 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown for their center. DC finished with 23 points, 6 rebounds, 22 minutes from DJ Augustin. He had the local product, 22 points, 6 assists in a matchup in 22 minutes. So DJ was scoring a point a minute basically in this one. And outside of that, they did have Enos, who used to play for the Pelicans. He had 16 points in the matchup, 15 for Onwanadu, 10 points for Law, and 10 points for Melvin Frazier Jr. In this matchup. So, man, I don't know quite what to say about this, man, dealing with this team. But anyway, before we get into more breakout, let's get another interview here. We got another one chimed up here. Next up the back is NAW. He's going to talk to you about his thoughts on the game, his NAW.
Hey, Nikhil, it's Andrew from ESPN. How important was, in the grand scheme of things, how important was the playing time you got these last 2 games?
Everything is an opportunity. Every day you get a chance to prove something. Tonight I looked at it as an opportunity for me to develop as a rookie and to transcend into next season. Trying to bring positive energy into the off season so that for my game, I'm feeling confident. I know where to work on and the high points. And you never know who's watching. You don't know what the future holds. And so I think every day, every game is an important opportunity to show something.
What's up, Nikhil? This is Will Guillory with The Athletic. Just what are your biggest takeaways from your rookie season, your first year in New Orleans, all that type of stuff?
As a whole, from the city, I love it. I love New Orleans. I love the fans. I love the people. My teammates, I couldn't ask for a better group. Everyone supported me. I had vets that taught me things, introduced me to the NBA. And so I think that's huge. And then coming in with a rookie class where it's not just myself, but Jackson Design and Nico as well. So them being like brothers to me when I need it.
Christian Clark with Noah.com here. What are some of the things that you think you'll try to improve this offseason?
Just getting stronger, becoming more consistent from three, off the bounce, catch and shoot. Just trying to score from all three levels. Playmaking, making better reads, just connecting on some passes. I know today I had a few turnovers where it was there, I just didn't deliver it right. So just going back to the drawing board and watching a lot of film, making sure the game slows down for me so that my work is able to show.
NAW, man, breaking it down. DC, he looked good in this one, man. I got to give it to him. He did play as well despite all other junk that was going on with the team. 29 points, 7 assists. And I'm really impressed with the fact that he's really learning to dish the ball a lot more. 7 assists in this game, 36 minutes. He shot pretty decently from the field, 11 of 18, 2 of 6 from downtown. He was perfect from the free throw line. And with 36 minutes of action, DC, he had 6 turnovers, but still in all, a lot of positiveness in NAW. What are your thoughts on him?
Look like we building us another combo guard, man. This could be a guy that could potentially be, I guess, what we wanted Frank Jackson to be. And Frank Jackson can take on another role because he can't
facilitate.
He can't really. I can't say he can't facilitate because he can get some assists. I see him drop some nice passes, but he can't run the offense. That's what I see with him. Off ball facilitation on the fly, yeah, he can do that. But as far as running the offense and running plays that are specifically set up for him to make decisions, not his best attribute. So I think Walker's taking on that role. But in his interview, man, he's talking about you got to go out there and play because you never know who's watching.
Yeah. Hold on, DC.
Getting traded? Like,
yeah, that was strange to me. Hold that thought. We about to hit the break because let's address that on the other side of the break because that put my antennas up. We'll be back to talk about that and cover the rest of the game and take a brief look into the offseason. You're listening to the Pelican Post Game Report. Stick with us. Remington Tax Solutions is a company that, together with their partners, provide virtual tax consultation and preparation for individuals, small business, and nonprofit. They also provide notary and a host of other business-related services for their clients. Their associates provide a systematic yet very client-centered approach to their services. They offer the industry knowledge and insight to help solve your most complex tax issues. At Remington, their currency is time, the one resource that cannot be replenished. For that reason, they utilize the simplest and most effective forms of technology to make their services faster and more efficient. No need to wait in the office until your taxes are completed. Simply upload your documents via the Taxes to Go app or via their client portal and they'll take care of the rest. Remington Tax Solutions is a member of the National Association of Tax Professionals and participates in the IRS Annual Filing Season Program, which is a voluntary tax education program to stay abreast of the ongoing changes in tax legislation. Remington Tax Solutions has a strong connection to the communities in which they serve. It is a part of their mission to make a positive impact on the lives of their neighbors. So, if you're looking for a reliable, effective, and trustworthy tax preparation service, Remington Tax Solutions is the business for you. Contact Remington Tax Services at their number 682-307-4410 or simply go to remingtontax.com. That's remingtontax.com. Remington Tax Service, virtual tax preparation for the individual and small business.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet. Total Protection Pet
insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Valley. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, now tuned into the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network, second segment. This is just a very strange season, man. Comes to a completion, 133-127 Pelicans, 3 straight losses. The hopes didn't see this coming. I thought this team had enough to push through to at least try to get a playoff push. I know the NBA was behind it. They wanted to see Zion Williams in the playoffs. Too bad they didn't tell the Pelicans that. Maybe they should have shown them to play a little bit better. Elvin Gentry, strife underneath the building. DC, let's get into the points of the last points we talked about what NAW was saying. Somebody might be looking. Who was he anticipating somebody to trade? What's going on with that?
Looking? Well, there's another way you can interpret it, thinking about it. I mean, maybe he know Alvin Gentry getting fired.
I'm pretty sure all of them know that.
So, he's like, you never know who might be looking. Look, I want minutes. The hell with Lonzo Ball.
Could be Mark Jackson. Could be Jason Kidd. It could be Ty Lue.
Or he could be like, he could feel like, he got the big head. He put some numbers up tonight. It's like, man, I could have did this all season if I'd have got my minutes. He could be thinking like that, and somebody might be looking.
That's quite possible.
Only he knows the answer to that question.
Well, let's get into this segment as we done finished out talking about the loss, the third loss, and this is the final game of the season for the Pelicans. They get bounced right on out of here. Look at spanning forward. Let's talk about Elvin Gentry, man. Let's talk about all of the rumors that's been circulating. There are several rumors from all over the place, from Adrian Wojnarowski, from all type of people that's talking about there's a disconnect, a divide between Gentry and VP of Basketball Operations Griffin. What do you know about that?
Well, I mean, you can see it in the way they talk about Zion. Every time they ask Alvin Gentry questions about Zion, he don't really look like he's being a friendly, charismatic politician we know him to be. And like I told you off air, I'll say it on there, Alvin Gentry is a lot of things, and we beat him up and beat him down about not making adjustments and doing all type of stuff, but he's not a liar. And when it comes to the Zion situation, Griffin just lies all the time. And Alvin Gentry don't seem to be one to go along with that ideology or that thinking.
Well, let me
that's
challenge you on that.
I've been so.
Well, let me challenge you on that, because give me some examples of Griffin lying.
Griffin said that Zion would not be on a minute restriction when he first came back from what that was, injury. They would play him in bursts. They use this burst bullshit. Burst basically means he gonna play 15 minutes a game.
Go stagger his minutes, right?
Right. But they tell us these fancy phrases and where he's not gonna be on a minutes restriction, no. Like, because it sounds better just to say the burst. And also, he said Drew Holiday was gonna be an MVP candidate. I don't think Alvin Gentry was on both that either. There was a disconnect when Griffin ran around this summer and started talking about Drew Holiday as an MVP candidate. So it's a lot of different things, and I think just to cut Alvin Gentry some slack, I think he still should be fired though. So y'all don't get this twisted. Some of the minutes and some certain players getting playing time, I think might have had a thing to do with Griffin too, by them being drafted where they were, like Jahlil Okafor, like we talked about, not getting no minutes, and Jackson Hayes getting those minutes. Even though I think Jackson Hayes probably should have spent most of his time in the weight room this year, getting bigger and focusing on defensive schemes, and maybe got, 10 minutes, 12 minutes here, especially getting a lot of minutes in blowouts and stuff. But when Favors first went down, we saw a lot of Jackson Hayes. That could have been a disconnect. It's a lot of different things, man, when you really look at the season and look at some of these crazy decisions we made and how we flip-flopped and switch ideologies. We never really had an identity. And could that be because maybe Gentry and Griffin couldn't come to terms on things, and it was always a power struggle?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it, man. We do have a general manager. Nobody talks about him very much. It's almost like Pete Carmichael's offensive coordinator, the Saints nobody talks about. But we go right past the general manager, which is Trajan Langdon, who's a pretty good general manager, and go right at the vice president of basketball operations. That's like us going past Sean Payton to talk to Mickey Loomis for stuff going on the football field. So
right,
I mean, he's a little too hands-on in this situation. He's not supposed to be. That could be an issue, because this should be a conversation between Trajan Langdon and Gentry, because the pecking order has Langdon on top of Gentry, and then VP on top of him. So I mean, we hearing Adrian Griffin coming out. I mean, we got David Griffin. I'm sorry, coming out and talking about these issues and disconnects, and you spoke to him being kind of on the sneaky tip. So I that's the issue that I'm saying is, where's Langdon in the issue? Like GM Kev says, big ups to GM Kev. Thank you for joining us. GM Kev says it's time for Gentry to go bye-bye. I really want JJ to come back, but honestly, he need to go to a team that's contending for a chip. We rebuilding. Kevin says, Gentry, if you draft a guy in the first round, play him. He says the guy wants to leave. He's speaking of NAW, wants to leave, and though he probably thinking somebody else could drafted him, he'd be starting somewhere right now. And where the hell is Trajan Langdon? What is he doing? Also, big ups to Chris Matthews watching live from Austin, Texas. All right. Thank you for joining us, Chris. Please hit the like button, family. And if you're not a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe. DC, you want to address those topics or those comments by GM?
All interesting points. The only one I think that needs to be addressed is Trajan Langdon. And the more I look at that situation and look at him, he seems like a guy that maybe just don't want that type of spotlight. He wants to do all his work behind the scenes. He don't care about getting credit. And David Griffin is the guy that comes out and is flamboyant, always in front of the camera, always speaking. So he's the VP, basketball operations. But as a face, he acts as the general manager. But we know Trajan Langdon is over there drawing up the blueprints and making this thing go and picking the players, signing a guy like Nick Niccolo Melli, obviously was
That
his choice.
was him and the other guy, the Didi over there playing.
Right, and Didi's good, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Didi will do when he come here, man. It's almost like having another Josh Hart. I don't know if he's gonna rebound like that, but he's another
I'm
guy
looking
that
at him as
plays
a
with heart.
good upgrade. Darius Miller Ultra Instinct. That's what I'm looking at him as, Didi as. He's a 3D
Right.
guy. But let's talk about this, man. Let's move forward. Let's span, looking at Gentry, span into the future, look in your crystal ball. Pretend you're Aleister Crowley for a second. Look into your crystal ball.
Oh, come on now. I ain't trying. If I could pretend to be a lot of people, I ain't about to pretend to be him.
Span into your crystal ball. Let's say you're Merlin, the musician. The magician. Is that better?
I pretend to be Michael Jackson before I pretend to be either one of the people.
All right, okay. Just span into the future the best of your ability, and tell me what happens. What happens with Gentry, and then of course tell me what happens with the team. What happens with some of these guys, JJ Redick, and of course we're gonna come back and do a show previewing the off season, of course. But this is just a little quick segment talk on it. What you think happens with Gentry? Who do you think will be the next head coach? And then 3 of the people like Derrick Favors, JJ Redick. What do you think happened with those guys? Do you think Drew Holiday gets traded? Let's start with Alvin Gentry.
Alvin Gentry's out. To me, it's pretty obvious. It's just a matter of when. I think if Alvin Gentry hits the lottery, he maybe gets the start next season, and we get off to a lethargic start like we always do under Alvin Gentry. I mean, come on, people. It's been like 5 years of starting slow.
For real.
So we get off to another lethargic start, and they let him go after like 10 games. That's the best case scenario for Alvin Gentry. Either way, he gone. Derrick Favors is an interesting situation because I don't know what the hell the Pelicans are going to do with him. Me personally, I like him. And if we could get him back for probably what we was paying Etwan Moore, about $8 million, I'd take him back. If not, I'm trying to find somebody who can either spread the floor and shoot threes and play decent defense, or just the best rim protector on the market. I'm going after that. Drew Holiday, the situation is interesting. I think we keep Drew Holiday if we don't really get a good draft pick. But if we get a decent draft pick, I think they may look at moving Drew Holiday and either replace him with that pick or possibly cash in on some more picks and try to move up in the draft or go after a potential player, maybe a Bradley Beal, something like that. It's a lot of different directions we can go, but I think the franchise really likes Drew Holiday, and I'm leaning towards them actually keeping him.
Jahlil Okafor.
Jahlil Okafor is gone. I think we want to keep Jahlil Okafor, but the money, somebody's going to want to pay him, man. He looked too good when he played. Somebody's going to give him more than the league minimum. I mean, come on. And we're not going to spread out a lot of money for Jahlil Okafor because we can't really fit him with Zion. So he's permanently going to be a backup. He doesn't spread the floor and he doesn't rim protect. This is what we need in our starting lineup. So all he could ever be is a backup with us. And if somebody comes along and want to give him $5-6 million, I don't think the Pelicans pay that.
Well, I think he was a wise investment, to say the least, to get your little Okafor the last couple of years and paying him basically in canned goods and old apples. But, I mean, to be real with you, man, it was a terrific deal, and hopefully he takes a cheaper deal to stay with the team because I love what he's doing.
That would be nice.
Now, let's span ahead looking at the coaches. Let's talk coaches here, man. Let's talk top 3 and then the one you would pick to be the coach of this team.
Well, you already know who I'm going to pick, and I know who you're going to pick, and it's going to be the same person because that's just the best person. But we don't even know if that person wants to coach. Mark Jackson is the best coach out there for this team, to me. Went into it last show, talked about why, comparing the Pelicans to Golden State. I know it sounds a little crazy, but if you listen to the last show and listen to my breakdown, it makes sense. Um,
Doesn't sound crazy
Tyron,
to me.
well, yeah,
Not at
I
all.
mean, well, but to the average person, where's Steph Curry? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's Klay Thompson? You know what I'm saying? But moving on from that, Tyronn Lue, we all know is probably the guy with the best to be the coach of this team, championship experience, a younger coach, not super young, but he's a younger coach. I think he can relate to the players, um, and I think he's somebody that'll hold them accountable and be able to bring some form of structure and discipline. Two things I think Alvin Gentry don't bring. Free flowing style is kind of set up for players who already been playing. In my opinion, that's who I think would thrive under Alvin Gentry. I mean, he's an old guy, and he ain't trying to raise no kids because they can just do whatever the hell they want to do. So I think we probably go with Tyronn Lue, even though I would like to see Mark Jackson or even Jason Kidd, just for the sake of Lonzo Ball. I think he could probably turn him
I
into an
don't. I don't
all-star.
think. I don't think the Lakers let Jason Kidd go. I think they'll end up probably blocking the Pelicans from trying to get him because they see him a key piece of their future. Remember, they kind of backdooring Jason Kidd. He had some scandal that happened that was, and they kind of slightly moving him underneath the radar. So when their current coach gets out the way, they want him to take over the team. So I don't know if the Lakers would let him go. Tyronn Lue is interesting because he had a relationship with David Griffin and won a championship with LeBron James and them in the city of Cleveland. But my personal favorite, of course, is Mark Jackson. He knows the game inside and out. He knows the game. He's respected. He'll be the perfect coach. And you talked about the Golden State analogy. People need to span back in their brains before the dynasty happened. The Golden State Warriors were a laughingstock for many years, well after Tim Hardaway and Chris Mullin and Chris Webber and all those guys were there. They fell on hard times, Mitch Richmond and all those guys. The Golden State Warriors were the Los Angeles Clippers. They were the laughingstock. And until Mark Jackson got there, he taught Steph Curry how to play the position. He created structure and discipline and built the foundation for the dynasty that Steve Kerr moved in because Jackson was fired unfairly by the owner. So they put Steve, and even some would say that
Right? Didn't they win the championship that first year too?
when he moved
As soon
in
as
there.
he got there.
So that's my pick. My pick is Mark Jackson, and Mark Jackson is interested in it. There were several interviews I remember him saying that if the right position opened up, that he would consider coming off the commentator chair. The same would happen with Van Gundy when Anthony Davis was available for the Pelicans, and he chose to do that. So these are some of the things. Now let's move ahead into the in kind of spanning the draft, if you will. Looking at the upcoming draft, you know a little bit about the draft. Who do you like? Who do you think the Pelicans take with with their top of the first round picks? Who do they need?
I mean, they obviously need LaMelo Ball because that's the best guy in the draft.
Come on, man.
If we could finagle some type of way and get him. Actually, I like the guy out of Georgia. I like Edwards. He reminds me of like a cross between like D Wade and Jimmy Butler. His defense, I don't think, is as tenacious as Jimmy, but he just seems like a very intense, bring a lot of energy and a hard worker, man. That's what I see when I look at that kid. Very athletic, can score on the perimeter. He can do a little bit of everything. I really like to see him in a Pelicans uniform. He's probably going to be the second, third, fourth guy off the board, somewhere around there. So if we get a real good draft pick, maybe we're able to move up, jump a spot, finagle and get him. But that's who I would like to see on our team. Somebody who could be play any position from pretty much. He probably could run the one. I'm not sure he would be the greatest at it, but anywhere from run 1 to 3. But he's primarily a shooting guard. So I like to see that. and somebody who could fill in at the three. You know, we love running these 3 guard sets and
That's what Gentry here.
unusual lineup. And I mean, but basketball is pretty much positionless. So if you got somebody who can play 1 through 3, you know, you got a player, man.
Not quite.
You
Not
gotta,
quite.
You got to fill your back in.
Well, if we were also fortunate to have a
Same
Giannis.
thing with LaMelo Ball. He could play 1 through 3 too.
But listen, my thing is this: we Lonzo Ball is going to be here with the team next year. He's still under contract for the next 2 years with the team.
Right.
The Derrick Favors thing, when they made the move to get Derrick Favors and put him along with Drew Holiday, the idea, according to what we got from Griffin, was the fact that you have a young pieces like Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Zobal, Josh Hart, guys like that, but you will have veterans that'll walk them through the tough situations, the tough times. So Derrick Favors, Drew Holiday, J.J. Redick, those guys were supposed to be the steadying or the focal point to help guide the young talent. Obviously, that didn't happen.
Right.
Now, there was some positive things during the season. We see Brandon Ingram reach the levels where a lot of people thought he could reach prior to him getting here. He was at the cusp of being an all-star. He was actually an all-star this year. The Pelicans definitely bringing this kid back. And then the last 2 games, when Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram played together, they started to really pass between. You seen the synergy started to materialize between Williamson and Ingram, and it was really fascinating to see those guys play off of each other like they were playing. Now, had Zobal played better and averaged, the 9 to 10 points with the 7 to 8 assists hit that game, we would have stole a few games there. We would have stole a few contests had Zobal played a little bit better to kind of compare or help out with those 2 guys. But for the 2 games I seen them play together, I was really fascinated by those 2. So, of course, Ingram's going to get paid. He's going to come back. They're going to team here with Zion Williamson. Zobal still are going to be on the team. But what I'm getting at is if Derrick Favors leaves, and good chances is he'll more than likely leave. The Pelicans have a boatload of first-round picks and a lot of young talent. You have some of the older people like Jahlil Okafor, J.J. Redick, Derrick Favors. These guys, chances are they're not coming back. Derrick Favors did say he wanted to come back, but money talks, bull walks. And J.J. Redick's still up in the air. Even though J.J. enjoyed playing here.
J.J. actually has doesn't he have it's a 1-year deal with an option?
But I don't know if that a team or player. I think that's a player option on him. I'll look that up. But I think it's a player option on his contract.
I think JJ will come back. JJ has a podcast too, and if you listen to it and you just get the type of idea, the type of guy he is, he seems like he's a loyal type guy. Like if the organization loves him and shows him love, he'll stick in there. Because the whole thing with Philly, how that happened, he talked about that. You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to be with his teammates, but it was like they didn't really want him. And I think maybe a similar thing might have happened with the Clippers. So we definitely want JJ here. I know he fell in love here. And I think he likes a lot of these young guys, man. And it's obvious that he kind of rubbed off on them, bro. And they were asking him questions. He talked about how Nickeil Alexander-Walker follows him everywhere, wants to go everywhere.
Yeah, he has a year remaining on the contract.
He was gonna come back anyway, I think.
Right. So we can mark him off the list. But $13 million for J.J. Redick. Of course, we know Drew Holiday is making a boatload of cash. A lot of people think the Pelicans overpaid for Drew Holiday. So. A lot of people felt that way. Of course, not. That was a few years ago when he signed that contract. Of course, a lot of contracts are kind of from a position. Looked like he definitely earned it. I mean, he scored really well, his defense and all this kind of stuff. He has to work on the turnovers. I like Drew Holiday. But my point is, with the new system moving in, of course, we can't keep calling Elvin Gentry. Eventually we got to move on because we've given him every possible advantage. We've given him everything that you could possibly ask for, and we've been patient with a coach that has given us 5 years and 1 winning season, 1 playoff trip in 5 seasons. And this team is not getting any better. We hadn't seen anything positive going into this offseason except what I'm talking about with Ingram. And you have a few contracts that actually work out. But like I know, that there will be a surprise in here. If the team wants to make a move and do something to change it up, the key piece is Drew Holiday. You and I both know that.
Right.
So it depends on who they get. So, I mean, if Mark Jackson, let's say Mark Jackson comes along, DC. If Mark Jackson comes along, I think that works. I think Mark Jackson can help Lonzo Ball develop into a really good point guard. I think that Mark Jackson's style of play is similar to Drew Holiday. Remember, he was an assistant guard with a defensive-minded guy that could shoot the three, and he was a straight-up leader. He would lead the team. Very intelligent, coach on the court type of dude. Yeah, I
should
think
have
that
won a championship, man.
He should have.
Jordan definitely stopped them.
Yeah. And with the Pacers, him and against Reggie Miller, and that came down to that Game 7. But Jordan stopped a lot of those guys, the truth be told. But let's talk about that for a second. Does Drew Holiday get moved to improve upon the team? And what's the mindset of the team going? Because that's the confusing thing. What's the mindset of the Pelicans headed into the offseason? Are we a rebuilding team, like GM Kev said? Are we a rebuilding team? I don't think we're a rebuilding team. I don't think
we're rebuilding. I think we're a team that's restocking the shelves. It's like we got the refrigerator full of food. You know, we got the main stuff and we looking for snacks and, you know, some fruit and canned goods, just stuff like that. But we got our main stuff that we need. So I don't think we're really rebuilding. We're just kind of restocking, man. We're going and trying to fill in the pieces to fit what we already have. Like Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Zion ain't going nowhere. Like I said before, Ingram and Zion damn sure ain't going nowhere. That's immovable objects. Lonzo is here, but right off will come along. I don't know. But we got those two guys, both potential superstars. One's an all-star now. And you just build around that. You know, you can't be a rebuilding team when you got two. If Zion plays all year, he's an all-star. We all know that. So you got two all-stars. That's not rebuilding. You got a lot to work with. Just those two players.
That and Jim Kev comments, if you're 30 and 42, you are rebuilding. Big ups to Teal. See Teal in the building. What's up, Teal? DJ, good to see your family. Jasper Bowden as well. Good to see the family members chiming in on this one. DC, you want to address that?
Yeah, I mean, you're wrong because the number 8 seed got 34 wins. So how you going to say we rebuilding just because we got 32 wins? You got to keep in mind that we're in the West. It's a reason they put 14 teams in the bubble in the West. Toughest conference. And if we played all year and it didn't stop, we didn't stop for the pandemic, I guarantee you the Pelicans would have had more than 32 wins.
But DC, truth be told, man, let's keep it trill, let's keep it real, let's keep it a buck, let's keep it a stack, let's keep it a rack. That's like I said, let's keep it real. The bottom line is this: the Pelicans didn't lose this season in the NBA restart. They lost it prior to it. They were a team despite the injuries. Zion Williamson was basically bubble wrapped for much of this year. And the thing is, despite the fact that you did not have Zion Williamson, you had Ingram for the majority of the year. You had Zobal there. You had Drew Holiday there. You had Derrick Favors. You had J.J. Redick. You had Josh Hart. You had more than enough pieces to compete and at least be over 500. There's no reason why the Pelicans should have been as far back in behind their win-loss total than Elvin Gentry. Obviously,
exactly. So I don't look at our team as rebuilding. We're just going under new management. Like we had somebody, we got all the talent. We just got a coach that don't know how to use it properly. Along with the fact that, like I told you before, I wonder if we were being intentionally sabotaged by David Griffin.
Well, let's unpack that.
Zion Williamson thing.
Let's unpack that because you came close to it a few minutes ago in the conversation, but didn't go into it. Let's unpack that.
We had to move on. You know, you're a great moderator. You had to slow me down.
Well, I appreciate that, bro. So let's unpack that right now. And what do you mean by that? He intentionally sabotaged, because I disagreed with you when we talked about that off show. Why would he sabotage the team? In your opinion?
It's just it's a theory. You know, I have no evidence to back this up, so I can't just pull out all these facts. But just the way Zion was handled, especially in the bubble, I wondered during the season. It's like, how much does it benefit us to actually make the playoffs? I mean, we really got to think about that. I mean, you get playoff experience. I remember that young Thunder team did it, and they had 3 MVPs. All them dudes turned in 3 MVPs. They were very young when they made the playoffs. If I don't know whose rookie year it was. Maybe was it Westbrook's rookie year?
I think it was Westbrook.
Westbrook's rookie year. Harden hadn't been that long, and Durant hadn't been that long. It was like maybe Durant's like 3rd year, and they went and played the Lakers and gave them a run for their damn money. But they still was the 8th seed, and they still went home. Do we have 3 players as good as those 3? I don't know, man. I think we got maybe 2. But
Ball is still an enigma. He's getting close, though.
He's an enigma, but
he's the answer. He is the answer to this whole thing.
He's the answer. He is the answer. He has the potential to be a great player. But Lonzo Ball at his best, I don't see as an MVP.
But hold on, DC.
I'm gonna just be honest.
That depends on who you get to help him. Because listen, he came.
An MVP.
Listen. He came to New Orleans. He don't need to be an MVP. He just needs to.
He don't.
He just need to do what he's been doing, which is you get him anywhere between 12 to 15 a game with 8 or 9 assists, a couple of steals. That's perfect for what you're doing at the 1 for the Pelicans. This is the issue, though. Whoever they get to be the next coach has to be able to work with Zobal and get him on that level. Now, he was able to improve down here because remember what his shot looked like prior to him in the Ranger. He has that 3-point shot. He's perfected that shot. He's shooting it with confidence. The next thing we need now is a disciplinary coach to come down, give him the proper structure, and give him the keys to the bus and teach him properly how to operate the offense. And really, the truth be told, the Pelicans should be a team that focus on defense first and offense second. Offense for these guys come easy. You don't have to do too much to spur offense. Zion Williamson's offensive master is an offensive dynamo. So is Ingram. So is a guy like Zobal who can get to the cup. JJ Redick and most of these guys, they're offensive-minded players already. Defense needs to be the mindset that spurs the offense. I've been saying that all season long. Antonio Daniels, who's the color commentator on the broadcast, also says the same thing, and I agree on that. That the offense, this should be a defensive-minded team because they naturally offensively gifted. But that's been the Achilles heel for the Pelicans over the last several seasons.
We don't have no dogs on the bench, man. I mean, you got a guy like Kendrick Williams, but where's your nasty players? Where's your crazy player? Like, these are all type of templates that winning teams have.
Josh Hart is the only one I can say that.
He's a dog. Josh Hart is a dog. But every team has like the crazy player. Every team has the enforcer. Every team has the level-headed verbal leader, communicator guy that can rally everybody. He might not be the best player on the team, but everybody respects him and listens to him. It's just we just got to build that actual nucleus of that. And I mean, the last thing I mentioned, we may have that player. That might be JJ Redick or whatever, but we definitely don't have an enforcer. We don't have that player that other teams like they scared of. We don't have an enforcer, and we don't have enough dogs. We need like one more, just gritty, getting there, do whatever it takes type guy.
Well, we got Xylem. We can get a Steve Adams. A Steven Adams would be good. I don't think he'll be on the market, a guy with that type of mentality. So, I mean, you need a goon is what you're saying. You need a goon.
We need a goon, yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Every time the Pelicans had a goon, we were successful. I mean, think about it. I mean, the last goon we had was Rondo, and we beat Portland in the second. We went to the second round of the playoffs.
But Rondo was so much more than that. He was a general on the floor. He got people that was confused about what they were needed doing, whether they're offensive, defense. He would get them together.
He got the most out of Drew Holiday.
He got the most out of Drew Holiday because it took the responsibilities of running the team away from Drew and allowed Drew to do what he does best, which is operate that two-way skill, keep the ball out of his hands. Remember, I'm always the guy saying, keep the ball out of Drew Holiday's hand. The guy turns the ball. He's very irresponsible with the ball.
Exactly.
He turns a lot.
Which
so
is
we don't
why
need
we're
him out
talking
there.
about him in trade talks, because if we're going to keep Lonzo Ball whole thing is run, and I'm going to pass the ball up court fast. It comes back to me and I make a decisive decision. He's not going to hold the ball like a Rondo or, take air out of it. Brandon Ingram will do that. If Brandon Ingram can grow more into a facilitator, then you can run the offense through him. And he basically be like a point forward.
What would be,
what does Lonzo Ball do? What do we do with Lonzo Ball then?
Right.
He's going to be a spot-up shooter?
No, well, you can he's multifaceted. You can, if you have a guy in there that can come in and do things, that can, like if you have a third, maybe a guy comes off the bench, a veteran point guard, that's what the Pelicans really are missing. They need a veteran point guard that's been in the trenches before, who's been deep in playoff runs, who knows how to do things. They need a guy like that to come in off the bench and direct things, that extra advantage, that vet vision to come in and kind of help out off the bench. Not saying about JJ Redick. He's an off guard and he does what he does. But I'm saying a point guard a veteran point guard that can come off the bench and do that. Now I like Frank Jackson a lot, but this team is lacking some of the experience off the bench. They need they need a unit off the bench. They need 5 guys off the bench that play together frequently. The disconnect off the bench is because Elvin Gentry's rotations are just crazy. He'll have this guy in today and then this guy in the next game. There is not a set 5 like you have a set 5 starting 5. There's not a set 5 off the bench where they can build that camaraderie. So we could use a veteran guy that can come in and help out. In those packages, you can move Zobal off the ball to the 2 guard because he's gotten better with his 3-point shot. He ain't JJ Redick or Ray Allen by any stretch of the imagination, but he can play the off guard position if you need him be in certain packages.
I don't like that, Big Q, because there's one thing I know about Lonzo Ball, and it ain't gonna be for the whole part of his career, but it definitely is true right now. He cannot efficiently and effectively, consistently create his own shot.
He doesn't need to create his own shot. What I'm saying is they have different personnel groupers that they can roll out. And Zobal, first and foremost, is a defensive-minded guard. And then he's a distributor. He's a guy that gets it going. And then when somebody's doubling somebody else, he's sitting there wide open after a pass. He knocks the shot down. That's his game. That's no secret. So
I don't like how his game was looking with Drew Holiday. Even when we were playing good and we had things going, it always looked like an awkward fit with Drew Holiday, him, and Brandon Ingram, and Zion all out there.
Well, let me ask you this.
It was like a confusion thing of how to kind of go about things, but I know they was trying to still fill each other out.
But I mean,
Lonzo Ball's thing is to get the ball out of his hands fast, make quick, decisive decisions. He doesn't roam around like your average point guard, making plays or hold on the ball like a Damian Lillard.
He brings up the ball and he sets up the offense when they're setting up the offense. His eyes are constantly watching for the movement that's going around, that's coming around. Now, outside of that, what I'm saying is that it is what you get with Lonzo. We just need him to be more efficient with what he's doing. And then he do take your ass to the cup. He does play really good defense. And, he just needs to crystallize that.
When he wake up on the right side of the bed, man, he a top 10.
That's right.
Top 8 point guard.
When his mind is right, he's difficult to stop. When his mind is made up, he's a big guard who can get to the basket when his mind's made up. Now, this is the thing I want to talk about with Drew Holiday, and then we're going to kind of move on out because this is really good conversation. But the Drew Holiday situation, why I'm thinking Drew Holiday could be a trade piece. Are you eating potato chips, my brother? Are you
potato chips? No, I'm not eating potato chips.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dick Gregory. But this is the thing. What we need to do is, if we're looking
you don't have the authority to ask me that.
You mean you're not qualified? That's what you mean to say.
You're not qualified.
All right, now listen. This is the thing when I'm talking about Drew Holiday, why I'm considering him a trade piece. I'm saying Drew's a trade piece in my mind because just like you talked about Zobal bringing the ball up, wouldn't the Pelicans offense look better with a shooter at that position as opposed to Drew Holiday? We know Drew Holiday doesn't shoot the three-pointer well. He's a two-way guard. His three-point shot's not all of that. But wouldn't that offense that the Pelicans would try to run when you have a Zobal there if at the 2, you made mention of the fact that you would prefer the Pelicans to trade Drew Holiday for a Bradley Beal. You said that.
Yeah, but that's a different animal. You got to look at Bradley Beal averaged 30.
But
he didn't make the All-Star game.
But that would fit well in that type of
Kobe.
system. But yes, I'm saying, but Zobal operating with in Bradley Beal moving around, finding the spots to knock the shot down. That creates a whole nother look.
That would definitely work.
Okay,
that would work. Okay. But I guess we would lose a little on the defensive side of the ball. But I mean, if we control our defense in the paint, I don't think it would be. I actually think the team defense probably still would be better. But I think that would be an effective trade, and that would work for both sides. Because if they did get like a LaMelo Ball, if the Wizards were able to draft him, how would LaMelo and Bradley Beal really work?
I think they would hold on to Bradley Beal, to be honest with you. If he's under contract, and if they still got him under contract, unless he's a free agent, I think he'll probably leave them. But if he's still under contract, they're going to hold on to Bradley Beal. John Wall, that's a whole nother matter altogether. You know, I think
they're going to hold on to John Wall too. Best believe it. They got $48 million. Let's go.
Good.
Let's say they're going to hold on to him, man. Who about to pay him that much? You know what I'm saying? Like, they signed him to a ridiculous contract, man. It was extremely hard to move that guy.
We don't know.
They going to cut their losses? What they gonna do?
That depends on how much money, how many years is left on his contract. But anyway, that's what I'm saying.
He got hurt right after he signed the contract. He was like 1 year into it.
And he get hurt and he stay out for years, man. What kind of injury this dude
I ain't
got?
never seen that. You're right, but I think he did mess up his Achilles, and he was a very fast dude. So maybe he went the long route because he wants to get all his speed and athleticism back. Who knows?
Well, we got our team is the Pelicans, not the Wizards, and the Wizards. And let me put it to you like this:
we might be getting some Wizards players.
You never know, man, how that's going to go. Well, David Griffin, according to you, is kind of shiesty. Did you unpack that? We talked about.
He'll never tell us the truth.
But that's the thing that upsets me as well. Is like nobody talks about the fact that we have a general manager. His name is Trang Langdon. We have an actual general manager. Why are we hearing from Griffin so much? He's not the GM. He's the vice president of basketball operations. Shut up.
He's the vice president of basketball operations.
Shut up.
Which, when ran properly, I guess for us,
no, DC,
is
don't
the face.
It, bro.
Is the face of. Well, I'm just saying, it's the face of the franchise. It's obvious he wants to take all the bullets.
The face of the franchise is Zion Williamson. Not
I mean like far as the political stuff, like the public thing. He does what our coach is supposed to be doing. He goes out, he's taking the brunt and the blame of everything. He answers all the tough questions. And it's obvious to me Trajan Langdon doesn't want to do that.
I just think that David Griffin is a guy that he needs to sit his ass down somewhere.
I can't say that that's the type of guy he is. I think that's the position he's playing right now because that may be what's necessary. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes because he didn't do this in Cleveland and he damn sure didn't do that in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't really know what he looked like until we got him. So it's like maybe this is the thing that's conducive to what we got going on.
I don't like
it. Like I was trying to unpack earlier, I think after looking at the bubble and how they handle Zion, I don't think they wanted to make the playoffs.
Well, we're going to cover that on another show. We're about to go off here. Music playing. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on this edition of the Pelican Post Game Report. The season over with, family. Well, yes. We sorry.
There's no
playoffs, but we'll be back on the Pelican Post Game Report with a special going into the offseason. We'll take some calls. We'll let you know down the road. So thank y'all for joining us. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share the link on your social media. Peace.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Post Game Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, Nuts and Confessions, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence in the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world. You can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, sports world? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share, and help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.